Who wouldn't wish to have the ability to fly or maybe spidey sense? Who wants to just be plain old human like Batman without the gadgets and the money? But the thing is, you or I or any one of us, we're not as ordinary as you might think. Because in this video, you will find out that we are all a bit superhuman and our senses can be used in more ways than we ever knew. Let's start off with number 5, our skin can smell and heal itself. From a very young age, we have been told that humans are able to smell through the nose, but what most of us don't know is that the same olfactory receptors that allow our nose to smell is also present in other parts of our body, such as the liver, gut, heart, and yes, the skin. In an experiment conducted by the Ruhr University in Germany, they tested how the main skin cell type called keratinocytes would react to scents. They cloned this receptor and exposed it to various odors of sandalwood, an ancient East Asian perfume and a healing agent often used in aromatherapy. Here they found that instead of sending a message to the brain like what usually happens with the nose, some of the scents prompted the keratinocytes to divide and migrate as if they are healing themselves. One scent in particular, the sandalwood, showed the most ability to heal. Researchers say that exposure to sandalwood radically increased the migration and proliferation of cells by 30%. However, they also discovered that the skin olfactory receptors are not as receptive as those from the nose. For the healing process to work, one would need to have the concentration of these scents to be 1,000 times higher than the normal level. Sadly, that would be too dangerous for our nose, and scientists have yet to find a workaround on the smelling and healing processes of our skin. Number 4, and this is really cool, you can tell whether the water is hot or cold just by listening to it. You probably never noticed this because there are more obvious ways to tell whether water is hot, right? Like seeing steam when you're pouring hot water or just by touching it. But actually, you are able to tell whether water is hot or cold even when your back is turned just by listening to it. In an experiment done by British science presenter Steve Maud, he proved that there is a difference in the sound that cold and hot water make, and we are capable of identifying it. Maud says heat energizes the molecules and changes the viscosity of liquids, causing a high-frequency sound when being poured, while the cold water's molecules, which are less energized, tend to stick together, causing a low-pitched sound. So let's try this out. Here you go, ready? And then this. Hear a difference? Obviously, the second time was hot water because you could see the steam, but could you tell the sound was different? Apparently, it all boils down to the difference in viscosity, or the water's thickness. And as subtle as they may be, our awesome brains have come to learn to distinguish these sounds after hearing them so often. Number 3, humans can hear better than fish underwater. On a daily basis, we are capable of hearing frequencies of only up to about 20 kilohertz. That's actually really bad when compared to other mammals. For example, dogs can hear up to 40 kilohertz and bats at a whopping 110 kilohertz. But not to worry, we are not as pathetic while underwater. US Navy researchers found that divers' hearing capability enhances once they take the plunge. And no, that's not because they're related to Poseidon, but because they start hearing through their bones. Most of the time, we humans hear through air conduction. In this process, sound waves travel through air, enter our ear canals, and go through our eardrums, which then causes vibration. Next to the eardrum are 3 small connected bones, one of which is the stapes, which upon vibration rocks back and forth, pushing the fluid-filled cochlea. Its hair-like structures then translates the pressure waves into nerve signals, which are sent to the brain and are interpreted as sounds. But when underwater, the sound waves take a shortcut in a process called bone conduction. According to the study, since there is no air to be disturbed, the sound skips most of the process and goes straight to the mastoid with the bone behind our ear, enabling us to hear up to 200 kilohertz, 10 times more than we would on land. Next, you can see your hands in the dark. If you don't believe me, go to somewhere really dark, a closet, a room, turn off the lights, and just wave your hands in front of me. Let me know if you see anything, maybe a shadow perhaps. And if you can, that's not because of some sort of ultravision, but it is an amazing ability of our nervous system. A study conducted by a group of scientists from the University of Rochester and Vanderbilt shows that humans can see a shadow of their hands even when their eyes are covered or when it's too dark to see anything else. They say this is caused by our nervous system's ability to establish connections. You will probably not remember this from your childhood, but an observant parent would would notice that their child would have a phase wherein they would continually move their hands in front of their face, wondering how this amazing structure came to be. They would stop only once they get used to the hand's movement and realize that it is actually a part of their body. Through the years, the child will learn that he could use this hand to do various tasks, strengthening the visual imagery of the many hand processes. And for most individuals, the connection between the hand's movement and his image becomes so strong they could see his visual image even with their eyes shut. But please note that this phenomenon really only happens with your own hands. So somebody else waving their hands in your face when you're in the dark closet or have your eyes closed, that's not really gonna work. And if you did close your eyes and have somebody wave their hands in front of you and you could see that, well, congratulations, you have ultravision. And finally, number one, you can still see when you're blind. Yes, you did hear that right. Studies show that a blind person's eyes could still see. According to a study in the journal Current Biology, a blind man was tasked to navigate a complex maze of boxes and chairs, and he was able to get out of it without crashing into any of the obstructions, an ability that scientists call blind sight. Scientists say that in many cases, the eyes aren't the main reason a person goes blind, but the brain, because normally the information passes through the retina into the visual cortex, which then relays the message to the brain. But in a lot of cases where people went blind, their retinas are working perfectly, but the visual cortex, which was supposed to process the information, was damaged. When the main pathway to the brain is blocked, the information would have passed through alternate routes to reach its destination, which then results in blind sight. Another study suggests that blind people can also see emotions, leading researchers to believe that it is empathy, not visual mimicry, that allows people to mirror the emotions of others. For example, emotional contagion, were the phenomenon that triggers us to involuntarily imitate the emotions and behaviors that we see in other people. According to a study published by the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, this phenomenon still occurs even if the person can't see. In this experiment, blind people were shown images of faces with various emotions like sadness, happy, and angry. Just like the man with blind sight, these people had fully functioning eyes but damaged visual cortex. And amazingly, the participants were able to show blind empathy, appropriately responding to the emotions shown in the photos with similar body expressions. This experiment further proved that even after going blind, a person is able to retain a sort of sixth sense of sight, which allows them to process color, shapes, and expressions without consciously seeing them. So indeed, our bodies are blessed with more senses than we know of, allowing us to adapt to different environments, and sometimes helping us adjust when one of our five senses could not serve its purpose anymore. Of course, these are only five of the many mysteries of our bodies. And many people throughout history have been able to unlock other abilities that we didn't even know we've had through practices like meditation and cultivation. For example, there are those who can stand extremely cold temperatures or have the ability to not eat for months at a time. All I'm saying is, the saying is right. Your body is a temple. It's an extremely mysterious temple. And right now, we just don't have the keys to unlock all of its secrets. And if you guys like this topic, you want to see more examples of hidden abilities within ourselves, I'll link some more videos for you in my description box below. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you later.